Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Community Day move for Galarian Slowking, and that is Surf. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now, ever since its release, Galarian Slowking has desperately needed a bait move, as previously it was only stuck with nukes. However, thanks to the addition of Surf, Hex Galarian Slowking is now a serious threat in the Psychic Cup. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Galarian Slowking in action in the Psychic Cup. Hopping to the first match, leading Galarian Slowking into Galarian Rapidash. This is a dominant lead for Galarian Slowking. Rapidash farming up and going to fire off a move. Slowking is going to respect it with a shield as Rapidash full sends the Mega Horn. Opponent save switches into Victini, and this is by no means a good counter. Galarian Slowking with the bait move, now honestly pretty spammy. Firing off back-to-back surfs, grabbing a shield from Victini and dealing most of its health. And now in comes Malamar. Malamar should be able to tank whatever they throw here. They go for the V-Create. That does quite a bit of damage, but Malamar able to hang on, fire off the foul play, and KO Victini. Is the opponent going to send back in the Rapidash? Yes, they are. Rapidash is going to be met with the neutral foul play from the Malamar. This will do some solid damage. Opponent lets it through, and Malamar farms down. In the back, they have Cresselia. And odds are, in this meta, they are not running Future Sight, which means Galarian Slowking is about to absolutely dominate this opponent's entire team. Cresselia fires off a move. It's a Moonblast. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping into the next match, leading Galarian Slowking into Bruxish. There are better responses in the back, so we are going to see a save switch into Malamar. Malamar does quite well here. Opponent going to farm up and then send in Shadow Gardevoir. But Malamar has a pretty big energy lead, meaning that it should be able to reach double foul play. And this means that Malamar is going to be able to force not one, but two shields from the Shadow Gardevoir. That is incredibly nice, as now in comes Galarian Slowking. Slowking, very nice that it does have the Charm Resist. Slowking farming up, going for the Surf, unfortunately does lose CMP to the Gardevoir. Gardevoir fires off a Shadow Ball. Slowking, unfortunately stuck in the Surf animation, going to undercharge, looking for a farm down here. That's a very nice undercharge, gets the farm down. In comes Bruxish. Slowking about to go off. Shadow Ball, one-shots the Bruxish. In the back, they have Raichu, and Raichu is going to be taken care of by Gardevoir. Gardevoir can very safely shield up. Raichu goes for the Thunder Punch. They will not get another move, and that is a good game. Great lead again in the next match, Galarian Slowking into Galarian Rapidash. Opponent save switches into Bruxish, and Bruxish will be countered by Malamar. Malamar firing off the foul play. Foul play will basically one-shot the Bruxish, so we will see a shield being used. Malamar, decision time, lets it go. It's a Psychic Fangs, and that does absolutely no damage. Malamar farming up, firing off another foul play. Do we see the second shield from the Bruxish? Yes, we do. Bruxish unable to farm down. Malamar, so spammy, makes a third foul play, and down goes Bruxish. Back in comes the Rapidash, but now you can just send back in the Galarian Slowking. And honestly, there's not really a whole lot that hard counters Galarian Slowking in this meta, especially with the addition of Surf, finally giving it a bait move. It is an absolute force to be reckoned with. In the back, opponent has Gardevoir, and Galarian Slowking has the opponent in shambles. Shadow Ball KOs, and that's game over. Moving into the next match, leading Galarian Slowking into Claydol. Both Pokemon hit each other for super effective damage. We're going to see a save switch into Malamar. Malamar will be answered with Shadow Gardevoir. Opponent did switch very quickly. Malamar not going to make it to two moves. Foul play, able to land, but Gardevoir able to withstand the damage and farm down. We are going to see fully waiting the timer here, then going to send in Galarian Slowking to Hex down. Now Galarian Slowking, thanks to having Surf, now does have a spammy move it can throw in this matchup as well. Farmed up to the Shadow Ball, baiting with the Surf. Opponent does call the bait. That's a bit unfortunate. Slowking going to be firing off Surf number 2 here. Surf is going to get a shield from the Claydol. Claydol just able to farm down. In comes the Gardevoir. Gardevoir is going to be forced to shield everything here. Opponent is running Rock Tomb on the Claydol, and unfortunately, they have Victini in the back, and Victini will be able to farm up to the back-to-back V-Creates, commits the shield, but unfortunately, opponent will have the back-to-back. Shadow Gardevoir will be taken out by Victini, and that's game over. Picking up a fairly neutral lead in the next match, Galarian Slowking into Bronzong. I'm definitely interested to see how this matchup plays out, both Pokemon hitting each other for super effective damage, Slowking farming up, baiting with the Surf. Oh my goodness, does the opponent commit the shield? Yes, they do! Again, showcasing the power of Slowking finally having a bait move. Bronzong is going to fire off a heavy slam. Slowking going for the Shadow Ball here. Is the opponent willing to double shield in this matchup? They are not! Down goes Bronzong. Opponent now going to send in Cresselia. Cresselia will be able to outpace here, but a Grass Knot may not KO. Grass Knot not going to KO. Slowking is going to make it to the Shadow Ball, and this is going to hurt. Shadow Ball gets a shield. We see a pivot into Malamar. Malamar with a shield advantage is quite deadly here. Cresselia farms up, fires off the Moonblast. We see the no shield from the Malamar. Opponent, aggressive switch into Victini, but Victini's not going to get a chance to throw a move. Foul play lands. Malamar going for foul play number 2. This is going to be taken care of Victini. Back in comes Cresselia, and they have absolutely no fast move pressure against the Malamar. Malamar going for another foul play here, putting in a ton of work. That gets the Cresselia incredibly low. Farming up, switching into the Slowking to absorb the energy. Cresselia goes for the Grass Knot and resigns the match. We see a familiar lead in the next match, Galarian Slowking into Bruxish. Not the most comfortable lead, so we are going to see a save switch into Malamar. Malamar farming up energy. Opponent is going to answer the Malamar with Gardevoir. These charms tearing through the Malamar. Malamar goes for the foul play. Malamar not able to make it to foul play number 2. That is a bit unfortunate, but the good thing is, now it's Galarian Slowking time. That Charm Resist is incredibly clutch. Slowking going for the Surf here. This is going to be close. Surf onto the Gardevoir with 1 HP. Gardevoir lives the Surf. You hate to see it. And Gardevoir is able to force a shield. In comes Bruxish. Bruxish will be answered with the Shadow Gardevoir in the back. Opponent has the Galarian Rapidash. Rapidash firing off the Body Slam. We see a shield from Gardevoir. Gardevoir looking for the charm down and gets it. Back in comes Bruxish, just going for the Synchronoise right off the bat here. It's resisted, but it's going to grab a shield. Bruxish gets nervous, throws a move, and that should be game over. Bruxish goes for Psychic Fangs. That's going to KO, but Slowking gets the Hex down and the win. Picking up a pretty decent lead in the next match, Galarian Slowking into Bronzong. Despite the fact that Bronzong hits for super effective, Galarian Slowking kind of doesn't really care. Opponent gives up switch, sends in Rapidash, and that is definitely going to cost them. Slowking gets some chip with the Surf. In comes Gardevoir, and Gardevoir will be able to tank the Body Slam and farm down. Gardevoir took a lot of damage, but this means minimal farm for whatever the opponent decides to send in, which is Victini. Victini could have gone for the farm down, but instead they go for the V-Create, a misplay by the opponent. To be fair, Victini was going to struggle a lot against Galarian Slowking no matter what, but now that they've lowered their defense, Victini's job is now made even more difficult. Slowking going to shield, look to try and farm down. Opponent will not let that happen. They switch back in the Bronzong. Bronzong will be forced to shield the Shadow Ball. Slowking staying in, going to force the Bronzong to use its energy here. Slowking lets it through, payback lands, in comes the Malamar. Malamar very well suited to try and close out this game. Malamar very close to the back-to-back foul plays, going for foul play number 1. Final shield used by the Bronzong. Malamar should tank whatever they throw here. Malamar lets it through. Payback did a lot of damage though. Malamar looking for the back-to-back. Opponent catches onto Victini, but unfortunately that's not going to save them as Malamar on very low HP has the back-to-back moves loaded. Foul play takes down the Bronzong, and that is a good game. Great lead in the next match, Galarian Slowking into Galarian Rapidash. We've seen this play out, and this is a great spot to be in if you're Galarian Slowking. Slowking farming up, Rapidash going to strike first. Rapidash is going to bait with the body slam. Slowking going to bait back. Now that it finally has the ability to do so, and Surf grabs a shield. Rapidash firing off another charge move here. Slowking lets it through. It's the Mega Horn. Slowking still able to survive and fire off the Surf. Rapidash, not the tankiest Pokemon, but Rapidash is going to commit the Surf. Rapidash, decision time here for the Slowking. Slowking opting to let it through because you can just send in that Shadow Gardevoir. Gardevoir not able to farm down Rapidash with the very low health, able to make it to a final move. All shields down. Victini will be answered by Malamar. Malamar farming up here. Malamar. Oh my goodness, Victini has so much energy. Victini goes for the V-Create. That is going to hurt. Goes for the foul play. Loses CMP. And that's unfortunately going to be game over as Victini is just going to be able to put in too much work. There's a Bronzong in the back. Bronzong going to be met with a Shadow Ball, but unfortunately Victini is still too healthy here. Shadow Ball will get rid of the Bronzong, but Victini will be able to make it to the V-Create there. V-Create is going to KO, and that's game over. Moving into the next match, leading Galarian Slowking into, you guessed it, another Galarian Rapidash. Galarian Rapidash is absolutely everywhere in the Psychic Cup. That's why it's so nice to have a Pokemon like Galarian Slowking, as Slowking does have a ton of play against the Rapidash. Rapidash full sends the Mega Horn, save switches into Bronzong, going to bait with a Surf, trying to grab a shield from the opponent. Opponent lets it through, but now Bronzong will be answered with Malamar. Malamar farming up, foul play, is going to win CMP over the Bronzong. Decision time for the Bronzong. Bronzong is going to expend shield number 1. Malamar going to let the move through. Bronzong fires off the payback. That will do quite a bit of damage. Malamar getting low on health, but has a lot of energy here. Going for the foul play. Foul play gets the shield. Malamar able to hang on, make it to one final foul play, and deal the killing blow to the Bronzong. Is the opponent going to send back on the Rapidash? Yes, they are. But Rapidash not going to appreciate a shield advantage Galarian Slowking. Actually going to send in the Gardevoir in the back. Opponent has their own Gardevoir, and this game is over. Gonna fire off the Surf, and honestly, after the Surf, Slowking can just hex down here. Looks like the opponent may have actually force closed the app. They knew it was over. Double Fairy versus Galarian Slowking. That is not gonna go well. So the opponent is going to send back in that Rapidash. Rapidash will be met with a Shadow Ball from the Galarian Slowking. We, of course, do have to wait the maximum time since they force closed the app. Shadow Ball connects, and that's a good game. Hopping into the final match, leading Galarian Slowking into Malamar. This is the other lead that's a bit uncomfortable for Galarian Slowking, so we are going to see a safe switch, so now we have a Malamar mirror. Opponent overfarming a ton of energy. This Malamar is not running Hyper Beam, so it's just going to fire off the foul play. Opponent did farm up a ton of energy. Opponent just going to go for the foul play as well. A CMP type, but the opponent's Malamar does win CMP. Opponent goes for the foul play. That is not going to KO, but it will get the Malamar deep into the red. Malamar going for the foul play. Opponent going to no shield as well. Gonna come down to CMP again, and the opponent again, of course, is able to win CMP. But now the Malamar is in a range where Galarian Slowking can take care of it. Opponent gonna send in Bronzong. Bronzong definitely better to see here against the Slowking than going up against that Shadow Gardevoir. Firing off the Surf. Surf is going to grab a shield. It's a CMP tie. We're gonna see Galarian Slowking commit the shield. Bronzong fires off the Heavy Slam. In the back, they have Galarian Rapidash. Rapidash firing off a move. We're going to see a shield from the Galarian Slowking. Slowking firing off the Surf bait, trying to grab a shield from the Rapidash. Surf does get the shield. In comes the Gardevoir. Gardevoir is going to be hit with a move from the Rapidash. Rapidash goes for the Mega Horn. That KOs the Gardevoir. In comes the Slowking. Slowking firing off the Surf. This is going to be close. Can Galarian Slowking clutch this game? In comes the Bronzong. Feint attacks adding up. Galarian Slowking gets to the Shadow Ball. That's gonna KO the Bronzong. And that is a good game. And now some final thoughts on Galarian Slowking and on its new move of Surf. First off, Surf is a massive upgrade for Galarian Slowking. This is a Pokemon that has needed a bait move, and now that it finally has one, it is taking the Psychic Cup by storm. I will say, in terms of open league viability, regular Slowbro is still probably going to be the way to go, as honestly, any of Kanto Slowbro, Kanto Slowking, Galarian Slowbro, and Galarian Slowking are going to be improved by adding Surf. So this definitely feels like a good community day to play because, for once, these moves actually really help the Pokemon that they're given to. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.